Somebody's playing. What's that music? What is that? Oh, hey, Luke, what are you doing?
I'm playing Rampage.
Rampage? It looks really old. Wait, I thought Rampage was some new movie with The Rock.
It is, but it's actually an old video game. It's a retro video game for the Nintendo.
Whoa, that looks awesome. Who is that?
That is George.
George? Like the character from the movie?
Exactly like the character from the movie.
Hey, do you want to go see Rampage?
Yes!
Let's go do that right now!
Alright.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Garrett, and this is Luke Nelson. We're about to talk about the movie Rampage, here today on Pointlessly Relevant. Okay, so we just got back from seeing the movie The Rampage. It stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He is a special forces guy, ex-special forces guy, and he ends up being in conservation work, working with gorillas, okay? He's got this one great gorilla. It's really well trained. They even fist bump and tell each other weird jokes. It's really great. Then you end up with all these giant monsters. I've got a lot of thoughts about this movie, okay, Luke? But we just saw it. What is your initial reaction to Rampage?
It was really cool. I actually played the game Rampage a little bit.
For those of you who don't know, it's based on an old, awesome video game, okay? I think it first came out on the Nintendo. That's how old it is. You can also find it on Game Boy, and I think they eventually did a Super Nintendo version. Go ahead.
And I really liked the way they portrayed the animals and how it happened. It's really gory though.
Yeah, it's surprisingly gory. All right. Don't think that you go into this thinking you're getting your typical PG-13 level violence of, say, the Avengers or a Marvel movie or something like that. No, it's a little bit more intense than that. Okay, opening up, and spoiler alert, obviously, but this is kind of what you need to be ready for. Opening up, there's this really scary scene up in outer space where they're working on this, bioweapons, and evidently they have given it to a rat that has killed the crew, and there's scenes of dead bodies kind of floating around, blood flowing around.
A hand, actually.
A hand.
A cut-off hand.
There is a lot of scenes of people being eaten. There are scenes where somebody walks up onto a bunch of dead bodies that have been torn to pieces. There's a lot of really clever editing work where it'll show it for half a second, and you'll be like, did I just see somebody torn in half? I'm not sure if I did. There's a lot like that. When they attack Chicago, a lot of people die. There's a lot of collateral damage. There's a lot of explosions. And it is, I'm not putting down the movie at all, but keep in mind, when you're going to see it, that they do a good job editing, they do a good job not making it too much, but you'll definitely, be looking at it and saying, wow, this is a little bit more violent than your typical PG-13 affair.
It's also very suspenseful. They did really good on not going into making it like a horror movie. But it was very suspenseful. You're always on the edge of your seat during the action scenes.
Yeah, it's really intense. It actually has some really good suspenseful scenes. We know what this movie is, okay? It is campy, all right? It is not sci-fi Saturday night type of campy. It's not that bad, but there's intentional campy fun within the film, all right? Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Negan in The Walking Dead, was definitely channeling his Negan character while playing this Texas FBI guy. He was just cool. And seeing him and The Rock kind of go face to face, go bantering back and forth, that was a highlight of the movie for me. All right, I really enjoyed that. George, the gorilla. You get backstory on George. George is a very likable character. All right, there's moments where he loses control and he goes on the rampage alongside the giant wolf.
And the alligator.
Yeah, and the alligator. Now, when the alligator shows up, he's a spectacle, all right? Throughout the whole movie, you're getting a lot of footage from the gorilla and from the wolf, okay? You know there's something going on with an alligator, but you don't ever get to see it until finally it comes up out of the lake by Chicago. And joins in the mayhem fun. So, what do you think here, all right? On a scale of 1 to 10, and listen, This is not 1 to 10 compared to every movie you've ever watched. I get this is not an academically great movie. It's not a very well thought out script. It's nothing of that nature. But it was made to be fun entertainment at the theaters. All right? So what scale would you give that 1 out of 10?
I would put it at an 8.
At an 8?
At an 8.
All right. So why not lower than an 8?
Well, because some movies, like, they're kind of like that, but, like, it's a lot worse. Like, you can tell, like, they had good actors. It wasn't like just extremely cheesy either.
But and when it was cheesy, it was meant to be cheesy.
It was like,
right? They were having fun with it. It's not like they were trying to make a serious monster movie that came out cheesy, like has happened so many times in the past. Yeah. All right. What were some other reasons? So why not? Okay, so you got it at an 8. Why not higher than an 8?
Why not higher? Well, I don't know. I feel like they could have done more, I guess. Like, I guess they could have added more suspense in some places. Like, at the helicopter scene, I don't know why. I really didn't. Because, like, I kind of knew that they weren't going to die when they're on that big ramp down. They're like, okay, we're going to ride this. We might die. It's like, they're not going to die.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously they're not going to die. It was still a cool sequence, but there are several of those moments where, no, you should be dead. How are you alive right now?
Like, he jumped off a 3-story building, falling down, and hit his head on the ground.
Yeah.
And he had, like, a small cut on his
Exactly. At one point, The Rock gets shot somewhere in here, and later he pops back up and is like, I don't think she hit any major organs, and continues the fight. Okay, now, don't get me wrong, I've read about soldiers, people who have had that happen in real life, but when you see it in the movies, there's definitely this, no.
Like, being able to run like that and shoot a grenade launcher, which will have some recoil, especially on the spot he's holding. He got shot, like, right in the stomach. Like, he got shot right on the side of his stomach, and he's holding this grenade launcher, just firing off rounds, and, like, that, like, has got to hurt really bad.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems to me like there's no way. But you know what? Who cares? Because it looked awesome. Exactly, it was awesome. It looked cool. All right, and the destruction scenes are really well done. The big battles towards the end, where it's The Rock and George, the giant gorilla, versus the wolf and the alligator. That is really, really cool. You know, some movies that are, spectacle movies like this, they'll have these big action sequences, but they're very generic. It's just basically hit, knock a building down, something blows up. And those type of action scenes really get old really quickly. So when you're watching a movie like this, something that's just purely for entertainment, and now it's the final act, it's time to blow away the audience, I want to see some things where, like, I didn't see that coming, that was awesome. I think a good example of this was the first Avengers movie, okay, where it wasn't just punching aliens. You had sequences where the Hulk comes out of nowhere to defend from the people from the Leviathan. You have the sequences where, Hawkeye shoots an arrow, Loki catches it, and then it explodes. Iron Man shooting Cap's shield. There's so many times where in that, instead of just going with hit, punch, you surprise us. And there's a lot of surprise elements within the action of this movie. There's a lot of cool things that the monsters do. You don't see it coming. All right? It really is. It's better than just your normal big robots destroy a city type of action that you see time and time again. It's more than that.
One of the things, playing the critic, I saw, so the alligator got big, has, more teeth. That's okay. George got bigger and, stronger. But the dog, it got bigger. It can shoot spikes out of its tails, and it can fly.
Yeah, I would have some upgrades.
I was a little confused, because they talked about the genetic sequence, and are like, okay, we're adding this, and this in here, and it'll make them, faster, stronger, and, smarter, and they can hear radio frequency. They're not okay, but also the wolf can fly, and it can shoot spikes out of its tails. But that's not a big deal.
Yeah, right. And I would have would have been cool if maybe George had gotten some
because
upgrades.
I mean, it seemed like he just got bigger.
Yeah, he just got
Like,
bigger
he
and
got
stronger.
bigger.
Yeah.
And the alligator looked a lot different. It like grew fins and stuff.
The
it had like
alligator-
a really big boulder tail.
You definitely felt some King Kong versus Godzilla when watching George fight the giant alligator. That is true. All right, so for me, okay, I would say an 8 out of 10. All right, if you're comparing it against every movie, then I would say this is a 5.5. All right, but when you're saying, okay, for what it was trying to do, yeah, it's a solid 8. It's very enjoyable. Okay, it does have some nice scare moments. It's got some awesome action sequences that put a little bit of flair in there. The Rock is cool. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is really cool. Seeing their interactions is very cool. It's a funny movie. The interactions between George and The Rock are hysterical. And you know what? They definitely add a small personal element to the action as well. All right, well, this is Luke Nelson, and I am Jeremy Guerin, and you are watching Pointlessly Relevant. Thank you, and have a great day. Cue awesome music.